Most people are fighting the wrong enemy. Every day, millions cut sugar, skip desserts, avoid sweets, and still watch their blood sugar stay high. Confusion grows, frustration grows, and slowly, people begin to believe their body is broken. But the truth is far more unsettling and far more empowering. High blood sugar is rarely caused by sugar alone. It is a signal, a message sent by your body when deeper systems are under pressure. And if you only focus on sugar, you miss the real cause hiding underneath. What makes this dangerous is how quiet it is. Blood sugar problems often build slowly. No alarms, no sharp pain, just small signs that are easy to ignore. Tired mornings, sudden hunger, brain fog, cravings that feel out of control. These are not random. They are clues. And in this video, those clues will finally make sense. Here is what most people never hear. Blood sugar is controlled by a complex network inside your body. Food matters, yes, but it is only one piece. Stress hormones can raise blood sugar even if you eat perfectly. Poor sleep can block insulin before food even enters your bloodstream. Dehydration can thicken the blood and trap glucose where it should not stay. Inflammation can quietly damage how cells respond to insulin. Hormones can shift blood sugar without warning. None of these show up on food labels. None of these are fixed by cutting dessert. And yet, they are often the real drivers behind stubborn blood sugar problems. This is why some people eat sugar and stay stable, while others eat clean and still struggle. The difference is not willpower, it is biology. When stress hormones stay high, the liver releases more glucose. When sleep is broken, insulin becomes weaker. When the body is inflamed, sugar cannot move where it belongs. These reactions are automatic. They are survival systems. Your body is not trying to harm you. It is trying to protect you. The problem is that modern life keeps these systems switched on for too long. The most surprising part is how early this starts. Long before diabetes, long before lab results look alarming, blood sugar begins to drift upward quietly, and most advice arrives too late. Focus on sugar. Avoid carbs. Blame food. But this approach treats the symptom, not the cause. That is why progress feels slow. That is why results fade. And that is why people feel stuck. In this video, you will learn what truly controls blood sugar inside the body. You will understand why stress can spike glucose without a single bite of food. Why sleep loss can undo a healthy diet. Why dehydration can distort blood sugar readings. Why hormones shift levels even when habits stay the same. And why inflammation is one of the most ignored drivers of sugar imbalance. These are not theories. These are built-in biological responses that affect millions every day. You will also learn how these factors connect. Stress ruins sleep. Poor sleep worsens hormones. Hormone imbalance fuels inflammation. Inflammation weakens insulin, and insulin resistance traps sugar in the blood. This chain reaction explains why quick fixes fail. Blood sugar is not a single switch. It is a system. And once you see the full system, control becomes possible again. By the end of this video, blood sugar will no longer feel mysterious. You will know why blaming sugar alone keeps people stuck. You will understand what your body has been trying to say all along. And most importantly, you will see a clearer path forward, not through fear, not through extremes, but through awareness and smarter choices that work with your biology instead of against it. This channel exists for one reason: to explain health in a clear, honest way. No hype, no confusion, just how the body actually works. If you want to understand your body instead of fighting it, you are in the right place. Subscribe to the channel, stay with us till the end of this video, and let's break the biggest misunderstanding about blood sugar once and for all. Blood sugar is simply glucose moving through your bloodstream. Glucose is a basic fuel. Every cell in your body depends on it to produce energy. Your brain uses it non-stop. Your muscles use it to move. Your organs use it to stay alive. When you eat food, especially carbohydrates, your digestive system breaks that food down into glucose. That glucose enters your blood so it can be delivered to cells. This process is normal and necessary. The problem begins when glucose stays in the blood instead of entering the cells where it belongs. That is where insulin comes in. Insulin is a hormone released by the pancreas. Its job is simple but critical. It acts like a key. It opens the door of your cells so glucose can move from the blood into the cell and be used for energy. When insulin works properly, blood sugar rises after eating and then comes back down smoothly. Energy is steady. Hunger is controlled. The system stays balanced. But when insulin does not work well, glucose struggles to enter cells. Sugar stays trapped in the blood. Blood sugar numbers rise. Cells feel starved even though sugar is present. This creates fatigue, cravings, and instability. Over time, the body produces more insulin to compensate. Eventually, cells respond less and less. This is how blood sugar problems slowly develop. Most people believe sugar itself is the enemy. This belief did not appear randomly. When people eat sugary foods, blood sugar does rise quickly. The connection feels obvious. Eat sugar. Sugar goes up, so sugar must be the cause. This logic seems clean and convincing. That is why advice focuses so heavily on avoiding sweets, desserts, and carbs. And yes, eating large amounts of refined sugar can stress the system, but focusing only on sugar misses something important. Sugar is often the trigger, not the root cause. Many people reduce sugar and still struggle. Others eat sugar and remain stable. This difference confuses people and leads to frustration. The truth is that blood sugar problems often reflect how strong or weak the system is, not just what enters it. A healthy system can handle sugar without chaos. A stressed system cannot. When insulin works well, sugar moves efficiently. When insulin struggles, even small amounts of sugar can cause spikes. In that case, sugar exposes the problem but does not create it. Removing sugar may reduce spikes temporarily, but it does not fix the underlying weakness. That is why blood sugar issues return once life gets stressful, sleep breaks down, or routines change. One of the most powerful and least discussed drivers of blood sugar imbalance is stress. Stress is not just a mental state, it is a biological event. When the brain senses pressure, danger, or overload, it activates survival hormones. One of the main hormones released is cortisol. Cortisol exists for a reason. It prepares the body to handle threats. It raises blood sugar so quick energy is available. This response helped humans survive danger in the past. The problem is that modern stress does not end quickly. Deadlines, financial pressure, emotional strain, constant alerts, and lack of rest keep cortisol elevated for long periods. When cortisol stays high, the liver releases extra glucose into the blood even if no food was eaten. Blood sugar rises without warning. At the same time, cortisol makes cells less sensitive to insulin. This means insulin struggles to move sugar into cells. Sugar piles up in the blood while cells remain underfueled. The body reacts by releasing even more insulin. Over time, this cycle damages insulin sensitivity. The result is higher blood sugar even on a clean diet. This is why people under chronic stress often see rising numbers despite eating carefully. The issue is not sugar intake. The issue is constant hormonal pressure. Stress also affects behavior in subtle ways. It disrupts hunger signals. It increases cravings for quick energy. It shortens patience. It weakens sleep. These effects amplify blood sugar problems further. Stress becomes both a direct cause and an indirect accelerator. Sleep plays an equally critical role. Sleep is not passive rest. It is active repair. During sleep, the body resets hormones, restores insulin sensitivity, and stabilizes glucose control. When sleep is cut short or broken, this repair process fails. Hormones that regulate hunger and blood sugar fall out of balance. insulin becomes less effective the very next day. Studies consistently show that even one night of poor sleep can reduce insulin sensitivity. This means blood sugar rises higher after the same meal compared to a well-rested state. Poor sleep also increases cortisol, which further raises blood sugar. It increases hunger hormones and reduces satiety hormones. People feel hungrier, crave fast energy, and feel less satisfied after eating. Even if food intake stays low, blood sugar can still rise because insulin is not working properly. This is why some people wake up with high blood sugar before eating anything. The cause is hormonal disruption from poor sleep, not food. Sleep debt accumulates quietly. Many people believe they adapt to short sleep. The body does not agree. Insulin resistance builds gradually. Blood sugar control weakens slowly. The damage is subtle but consistent. Over time, sleep loss becomes a silent driver of metabolic instability. Hydration is another overlooked factor. Blood is a fluid system. When the body is well hydrated, blood flows easily, glucose moves efficiently. The kidneys help filter excess sugar out of the blood. When dehydration sets in, blood becomes more concentrated. The same amount of glucose now exists in less fluid. Blood sugar readings rise. This does not mean more sugar was produced. It means there is less water to dilute it. Dehydration also stresses the kidneys. Kidneys play a role in managing glucose levels. When fluid is low, kidneys conserve water and filter less efficiently. Excess glucose remains in circulation longer. This pushes blood sugar higher and keeps it elevated. Mild dehydration is extremely common. Many people mistake thirst for hunger or fatigue. They drink far less water than their body needs, especially during busy days. Hydration also affects hormones. Dehydration increases cortisol. It reduces blood volume. It forces the body into a mild stress response. Once again, stress hormones rise and blood sugar follows. This happens without food, without sugar, without warning. When stress, poor sleep, and dehydration exist together, the effect multiplies. Cortisol stays high, insulin weakens, glucose release increases, blood sugar control collapses even on a strict diet. This explains why focusing only on food often fails. The body does not operate in isolation. Every system interacts. Blood sugar is not just about what you eat. It is about how your body processes energy under real-life conditions. Stress changes hormone signals. Sleep determines insulin strength. Hydration controls blood concentration. When these factors break down, sugar becomes the visible problem, even though it is not the original cause. The body is responding logically to pressure. Blood sugar rises to keep you functioning. The system is protecting you, not betraying you. Understanding this shifts everything. It explains why strict diets sometimes fail. It explains why numbers fluctuate without explanation. It explains why blood sugar feels unpredictable. The system is reacting to internal signals that most people never measure or address. Food matters, but it does not act alone. Sugar is part of the equation, but never the full equation. When these hidden factors remain active, blood sugar stays unstable. Removing sugar may reduce spikes temporarily, but the underlying signals continue. Stress keeps releasing glucose. Sleep loss keeps insulin weak. Dehydration keeps blood concentrated. The body stays in survival mode. Blood sugar reflects that state. This is why true control begins with understanding the system, not blaming a single nutrient. Blood sugar responds to how safe, rested, hydrated, and supported the body feels. When these needs are ignored, glucose rises as a protective response. When they are addressed, balance becomes possible again. The body is consistent. It follows rules. Blood sugar problems do not appear randomly. They follow patterns shaped by daily pressure, recovery, and internal balance. Sugar may be the messenger, but stress, sleep, and hydration write the message. Hormones quietly shape blood sugar every single day. They rise and fall, shift with age, change with life stages, and respond to stress, sleep, and nutrition. Yet they are rarely discussed when people talk about blood sugar control. Hormones act as messengers. They tell cells when to release energy, when to store it, and when to hold back. When these messages are clear, blood sugar stays stable. When they become distorted, sugar control weakens, even if diet stays the same. During menstruation, hormone levels change week by week. Estrogen and progesterone move in opposite directions. These shifts affect how sensitive cells are to insulin. In some phases, insulin works efficiently, in others, it struggles. Blood sugar may rise more easily before a period begins. Cravings increase. Energy drops. These changes are not caused by food alone. They are driven by hormonal signals that temporarily reduce insulin sensitivity. Many people blame themselves during these phases, thinking they lost discipline. In reality, their biology temporarily changed the rules. Menopause brings even larger shifts. Estrogen levels decline. Estrogen helps insulin work effectively. As it drops, insulin resistance often increases, fat distribution changes, inflammation increases, blood sugar becomes harder to control even with the same habits that work for years. This transition often feels sudden and confusing. Many people notice rising blood sugar without changing what they eat. The cause is not a sudden failure of willpower. It is a hormonal environment that now requires different support. Pregnancy introduces another powerful hormonal shift. Hormones released during pregnancy help ensure enough glucose reaches the growing baby. To do this, they naturally reduce insulin sensitivity. This allows more sugar to remain in the blood. For some, this adjustment becomes too strong. Blood sugar rises beyond healthy limits. This is not a personal failure. It is a biological response that needs careful balance. Even after pregnancy, hormonal changes can continue to affect sugar control for months or years. Hormones related to thyroid function also influence blood sugar. Thyroid hormones regulate metabolism. When they are low, energy use slows. Sugar remains in circulation longer. When they are high, glucose may spike unpredictably. These shifts often go unnoticed because symptoms are vague: fatigue, weight changes, brain fog. Blood sugar instability quietly follows. Inflammation is another major force behind blood sugar imbalance. Inflammation is the immune system staying active for too long. It can begin from excess body fat, repeated infections, gut imbalance, chronic stress, or poor recovery. When inflammation persists, insulin signaling weakens, cells stop responding clearly to insulin's message. Sugar stays in the blood. The pancreas releases more insulin to compensate. Over time, this cycle worsens insulin resistance. Inflammation does not always cause pain. It can exist quietly. Low-grade inflammation interferes with metabolic signals every day without obvious symptoms. Blood sugar slowly drifts upward. Energy fluctuates. Hunger increases. This process can happen even in people who appear outwardly healthy. It is not limited to extreme cases. Body fat, especially around the abdomen, releases inflammatory signals. These signals directly interfere with insulin. This creates a loop. Insulin resistance makes fat storage easier. More fat increases inflammation. More inflammation worsens insulin resistance. Blood sugar rises steadily. Breaking this loop requires more than cutting sugar. It requires reducing inflammation across the system. Infections also increase inflammation. Even temporary illness can spike blood sugar. The immune system needs energy to fight threats. It raises glucose availability intentionally. Blood sugar rises as part of defense. This explains why numbers fluctuate during illness or recovery. Once again, sugar is responding to a signal, not acting alone. Diet quality matters here, but not just in terms of sugar. Highly processed foods, Lack of fiber and nutrient deficiencies all increase inflammation. When the body lacks key nutrients, repair slows, immune signals stay active longer, insulin struggles to work in this environment, sugar control suffers even without excess sweets. Beyond hormones and inflammation, other forces quietly influence blood sugar. Environmental toxins are one example. Certain chemicals disrupt hormone signaling. They interfere with insulin receptors. They increase inflammation. Exposure builds slowly through air, water, plastics, and daily products. The effect is subtle but cumulative. Over time, sugar regulation becomes less efficient. Certain illnesses also disrupt blood sugar balance. Liver conditions affect glucose storage and release. Kidney problems reduce glucose filtering. Gut imbalances alter how nutrients are processed. Nervous system dysfunction affects hormone release. Blood sugar reflects the state of the whole body, not just one organ. All of this matters because blood sugar imbalance is not harmless. Persistently elevated glucose damages blood vessels. It affects the heart by stiffening arteries. It harms nerves by disrupting signal transmission. It stresses the kidneys by increasing filtration load. It affects vision, circulation, and brain health. These changes develop slowly, often without warning. By the time symptoms appear, imbalance has existed for years. This is why reducing blood sugar is not about restriction alone. It is about restoring balance across systems, stress signals, sleep cycles, hormone rhythms, immune responses, hydration status, movement patterns. Blood sugar reflects how well these systems communicate. Simple actions can begin shifting this balance. Managing stress does not require perfection. Small breaks throughout the day reduce cortisol spikes. Slow breathing calms the nervous system. Short pauses signal safety to the body. Cortisol falls. Glucose release slows. Sleep consistency matters more than extremes. Regular sleep and wake times stabilize hormone rhythms. Deep sleep restores insulin sensitivity. Even modest improvements create measurable changes in glucose control. Hydration supports circulation and kidney function. Adequate water keeps blood volume stable. Glucose moves efficiently. Hormonal stress responses decrease. Movement sends powerful signals. Light activity improves insulin sensitivity immediately. Walking after meals helps muscles absorb glucose without extra insulin. Gentle, consistent movement reduces inflammation over time. None of these actions work in isolation. Together, they strengthen the system. Blood sugar responds because the body feels supported. Signals become clear. Energy flows where it should. Blood sugar problems rarely come from a single cause. They emerge when multiple systems lose alignment. Sugar intake matters, but it sits on top of a deeper foundation. When that foundation weakens, sugar becomes visible as the problem. When the foundation strengthens, sugar becomes manageable again. Control begins with understanding. The body is not failing, it is responding. When hidden factors are addressed, blood sugar no longer feels unpredictable. It follows the rules it was designed to follow. Blood sugar problems are not random, and they are not a life sentence. They are messages. Signals from your body asking for balance, not punishment. When you stop fighting sugar alone and start understanding the deeper factors, everything changes. Control becomes possible. Energy returns. The body responds when it finally feels supported. If you want to learn the best daily habits that help balance blood sugar naturally, the next video will walk you through them step by step. Simple habits, real biology, no extremes. Like this video so more people can learn this. Share it with someone who is struggling and feels stuck, and subscribe to the channel for clear, honest health knowledge that helps you take back control of your body, one signal at a time.